Day 2, just starting. Did a half day of some install work, and now I'm about to hit the garage and see what we can do. We left yesterday with some basic framing and cuts done before it started pouring rain and thunderstorms. It's supposed to snow later today, so we'll see how it goes. So the previous night, we framed up the main structures and cut all the 2x4s to size. We were cut a little short by the pouring rain, but today's looking much better, if a little chilly. Those main structures are held together with wood glue and pocket screws, and what you're watching here is me attaching the main legs to the top frame. I placed some scrap 2x4s on the ground to create a level surface for when they screw in. I just don't have a large or flat enough surface for something like this, and this is the solution we came up with. And of course, you should always clamp your joints to ensure the best connection. So now we're flipping it up to place the bottom. I'm using the same scrap 2x4s to provide some lift for the toe clearance at the bottom. I'm marking out the supports that will hold the drawer slides for our shelves, and once they're marked out and they're all screwed in, you can go ahead and attach the drawer slides. You don't need to use it, but a drawer jig like this one makes things super easy to attach the slides and then later the drawers. Most drawer slides come with super tiny screws, and they'll work for most applications, presumably up to the rating they provide you. But since these are going to support a 7-foot long bench full of various electronic equipment, I thought it'd just be a good idea to increase the size and depth of all the screws. And since the workshop is still super cluttered, I've had to resort to making this awkward cut on the miter saw. Just be careful to line things up for a smooth finish, and be sure to support both sides. You don't want something flying up and sending your hand into a blade. Of course, you can always use a circular saw and a guide fence to get a nice cut as well. I just didn't have enough room in the shop for it. And now we're just screwing in the tops of each shelf. Line up your pieces and clamp them in place. Mark out your holes for a nice consistent look before pre-tapping, countersinking, and finally you get to screw them in. Go crazy. So sometimes things don't go perfectly well, and that's absolutely fine. You just have to throw the flush bit in the router and make some noise. And sanding this thing was a bit of a hassle. This thing just didn't really fit anywhere. I had a hell of a time just trying to get into every little nook and cranny, from every grit between 80 all the way up to 320, just to make sure it's nice and smooth for painting. And then painting was interesting because we kept having these crazy windy days. It didn't fit anywhere, and I had to paint outside when it wasn't howling, and I had to squeeze it into the front of the garage, and then I had to shove it into the back of the van. I used a combination of rattle cans to get a nice base coat before finally applying that roll finish, and I think it turned out alright.